Harry Belafonte has died. Belafonte was a boundary-breaking performer. His rich voice and charismatic presence helped bring Caribbean music to a wider audience. But Belafonte's true passion was his human rights work, conducted for decades. He died of congestive heart failure at his home in Manhattan at 96. Deana Sumanac-Johnson has more on Belafonte's extraordinary life and legacy.
Absolutely. I mean, you could say this man was like genetically engineered to be a superstar. The charisma, those cheekbones, that voice, the way he could move on stage. I mean, audiences were absolutely besotted with him. And that 1956 album that very song comes from, his album Calypso, is said to be the first album by a single artist, not a group, to sell over 1 million records. This is a little bit before Elvis Presley. So he's the first one that broke through that door. But there were many, many other barriers that he would break. He was equally beloved by black and white audiences at a time when that was still relatively rare for an artist. And of course, he decided to dedicate much of his life to fighting against racial injustice and to fighting for civil rights. He was close friends with Dr. Martin Luther King. We're seeing those pictures right now at a time when doing so, really being outright political was seen as a dangerous act for an artist, especially a black artist. And certainly he was willing to pay the sometimes steep price for his activism. In the 1960s, he was the first black host of a major variety show that was very popular, won a bunch of awards, and then sponsors decided to pull out and the show was yanked off the air because black and white performers were allowed to perform together. He did not allow for segregation on his show. You see through these pictures that political legacy has continued for the rest of his life, meeting Nelson Mandela, fighting against apartheid, and more recently in the 2016 U.S. election, urging Americans not to vote for Donald Trump. So certainly always a man willing to stick for his beliefs, Hannah.
Yeah, Deana, what's been the reaction so far?
Well, because of his extraordinary profile that really mixed the entertainment world and the political world, it's coming in from both sides. And I just want to read you a translated version of a tweet sent by Michael Jean. It was she tweeted out in French. She said, "Dear Harry, my friend, your voice, your courage do not leave us. You remain a beacon and an inspiration, and we carry high the torch that you hold out to us. The march continues." That's what the former Governor General, Michael Jean, said of her friend Harry Belafonte, and tributes are pouring in from Hollywood as well as from world leaders. Hannah.
Deana Sumanac-Johnson in Toronto.